So to them was very emotional moment. But they were drumming and they were happy. They were so connected with their souls, and they found good ways to express their emotion, which is music. And that was so emotional. And I was so thankful to Musical Mission for Peace for the opportunities and the healing. The healing was there because they support me how to start the healing process over there. And it worked very good. It worked. And each one were able to have a drum. Those people all lived in the refugee camp. So I'm sure they will get together and they will play drums. I'm sure. Before I go, it was 2 days before I go, I was thinking, let me call Cameron and Christine to see if we can get some drums. And I say, that's impossible because within 48 hours, that's impossible. I just called them and they say, for sure, just send us the address. Within 24 hours, they were able to send me 30 drums and 20 shakers. When I went there, I started to work with the Yazidi communities. So we did the drumming circle, and it was so wonderful. And we share a lot of singing with the Yazidi people. We sing the song that their kids were like before they died, while they were kids. We sing the sing that their dads, who were killed by ISIS. We sing.
How did the music help with the healing?
My goodness, the music connected people together to have some moment of peace and joy and connection. And love. This drum helped them to get together, to support each other, and to sing the song that they belong to their culture, to their religion, to their children, to their husband, to their sister, to their mom that they lost. It was a moment of happiness and sadness, but it was a moment of humanity over there. I felt it. It was a moment of humanity. That was priceless. You cannot buy it for $1 million, but it was there. I felt the soul, and I felt all of those people who killed and hurt by ISIS, their soul were there celebrating with us. I had this feeling, and sometimes people think I'm crazy, but this is the feeling I got. They were there. They were happy that their sibling and their wife, their partner, their kids were drumming with us. They were happy. And I don't know how, but I felt it. And I told them that. I told them that they are watching for you. They want you to be happy. So they got the message.
So I'm curious about some of the stories that these women had, or the stories that you heard about the very traumatic experiences as being sex slaves, being sold, being raped.
It's so hard. You know, what we hear from the media, it's that slice. But the reality, nobody can handle it. Nobody can handle the truth. It's so deep and so painful. And when you think about it, there is no justification. You cannot find even one justification for what happened to them.
And is there a specific story that you can share?
Stories. Yes. One of the story I can share that I met that wonderful woman. She was about 26 years old. Young woman, so beautiful. When I met her, she was just about a week. She survived from ISIS. And they brought her so I can work with her, ask her question, and support her how to share her stories. And she shared her story with me, and because they told me she will never talk, she will never say anything. But she was watching us doing the drum. She didn't want to participate because I understood the thing was so like so fresh and so new for her. And she just wanted to look at everybody to see if she will fit into this group, if she's gonna be safe. And we gave her that space. So later on, when it came to her turn, she came and she told me that while she was very young, she was in love with her husband, and they both Yazidi, but her family didn't want her to marry him because he's poor. So they decided to run away. So they ran away together. And the family, once they know that, they wanted to protect the reputation of the family. They brought them back and they promised, okay, we agree, you guys go get married. She told me that they had the best and most peaceful life with love and intimacy. She loved her husband and her husband loved her. She described that they used to live in 2-bedroom house with a big backyard, but the husband was working and bringing enough money to support. She said once ISIS came, invaded our village, they took my husband and they killed him in front of me. And they took my 10 years old daughter and they sold them to Saudi Arabia people. She was pregnant at that time, 4 months from her husband, with 3 kids, 4, 5, and 7. They killed her 2 boys. And they were waiting for her to deliver the baby. Later on, they poisoned her 1 week old. Who can do that? And she waited. She was so strong. She was able to escape. So I asked her, what stood up for you? Because I told her, you're very strong. I don't know if I would be in your shoes. I would be that strong. Tell me what stood up for you. She said, my daughter. I have hope that I will find my daughter. I know she's still alive, but I have to find her. My daughter stood up for me. And there are many, many stories of those women. Many stories. It's just incredible stories. Stories of strength, stories of pain, stories of suffering. I don't know why. And they're in shock. They say, tell us why. Why us? Nobody has answer for them. But I wish one day they will get the answer. And they will heal. And they will thrive. So they have kids. They will take care of themselves. So they will be able to take care of their kids and take care of those who survive every day and come back so they can support them to be strong, same way they are. Stories of many women, stories of one woman who they took care with her kids and they killed her husband and they took her 2 daughters, 12 and 14, and they draft her kids to be a child soldier. She doesn't know what happened to the kids. She say, even when I escape with my kids want to kill me because they brainwashed them. So stories and stories of 9 years old who was raped and she was bleeding. Stories of 7 years old died because of the rape, because she couldn't stand the pain. Stories and stories. It's stories, and it's all painful stories.
What is one of the stories that you can share with us about the survivors that escaped from the ISIS, or they were freed and liberated?
I had to work with one young woman who she would faint 5 to 6 times a day. She would yell and try to pull her hair, and she told me that she was sold to 15 guys in 1 month. Everybody were raping her 10 times a day. They would rape her and sell her to somebody else. In her mind, she wanted her virginity because she was so young. She was 15 years old. And she thought that virginity is something that she can gain it back. And she would beg me that if the doctor can stitch her. I had to call the gynecologist to ask her, like, why we cannot do the surgery for her, just the stitching. that will make her comfortable, and at least she will heal psychologically. They say she was being raped by giant guys over and over. There is no any way that we can have the surgery done. And she would faint. She just wanted to die because ISIS killed her family. She doesn't have anybody. She was by herself at a refugee camp. She was suicidal, very suicidal. And I'm worried about her. I always call and ask if she's okay.
Did you meet any families that were able to escape together?
Zero. I never meet a family that escaped together. I met with families that 2, 3, 4 people are missing. Even a wife by herself, they kill her husband and they took the kids. Or a husband was in the city at that time when ISIS invaded the village, so they took their wife. Or a son is missing, or a daughter, or a kids. So no, I did not meet any family that escaped together, unfortunately. It was on August 2016, but I went more than one time.
Okay.
But this time specifically, the drums work very good. And other groups keep calling me, Delquas, you ignored us. What about us? I say, I'm working on it. They always, why did you just, bring drums for one centers? There are a lot of centers there for Yazidis. And I say, okay, we promised them one. Next time we will go, we will take more.